Welcome to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him at GodsFiveMinutes@gmail.com. Now, here's Ed Wilson with God's 5 Minutes.
Hello, friends. Zechariah 3:7. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, If thou wilt walk in my ways, and if thou wilt keep my charge, then thou shalt also judge my house, and thou shalt also keep my courts, and I will give thee places to walk among these that stand by. In this passage, the prophet has just been describing a vision in which the high priest, as a representative of the nation, stood before the angel of the Lord as an unclean person. He is cleansed and clothed in a fair priestly garment, with holiness to the Lord written on the front of it, put upon him. And then follow a series of promises, of which the climax is, I will give thee a place of access, as the Revised Version reads. This place of access is among those that stand by. Here we dimly see the attendant angels that surround their Lord. And so the promise is of free and unrestrained approach to God, of a life that is like that of the angels that stand before his face. These grand words suggest to us what a Christian life may be. There are two images blended together in the great words of this. The one is that of a king's court, the other is that of a temple. Concerning the king's court, it was a privilege given unto the highest nobles of a kingdom to have the right of access at all moments and in all circumstances to the monarch. Concerning the temple, the prerogative of the high priest as to access to the temple was a very restricted one. Once a year, with a blood that prevented his annihilation by the brightness of the presence into which he ventured, he passed within the veil and stood before that mysterious light that gleamed and sparkled in the darkness of the Holy of Holies. But this high priest is promised and accessed on all days and at all times, that he may stand there in the Holy of Holies, beside and like the seraphim, one who with one pair of wings veiled their faces in token of the incapacity of the creature to behold the Creator, with twain veiled their feet in token of the unworthiness of creatorial activities to set before him, and with twain did fly in token of their willingness to serve him with all their energies. This priest passes within the veil when he will. Thus the message is we can, whenever we please, pass into the presence before which the regal majesties of an earthly monarch's court shrink into vulgarity, and attain to a real reception of the light that irradiates the true holy place. We may live with God and in him, and wrap a veil in privacy of glorious light about us, whilst we live out our pilgrimage here on earth. We may have hidden lives which, despite all their surface occupation with the distractions, duties, and enjoyments of the present, deep down in their centers are knit to God. The measure of our religious life is the measure in which we may evermore dwell in the house of the Lord, and have our hearts in the secret place of the Most High, amid the calm stillness and perfect sanctity of his immediate dwelling. Our Master is a great example of this, of whom it is said, not only in reference to his mysterious and unique union of nature with the Father in his divinity, but in reference to the humanity which he had in common with us all, yet without sin, that the Son of Man came down from heaven, and even in the act of coming, and when he had come, was yet the Son of Man which is in heaven. Thus we too may have a place of access among them that stand by, not need to envy the angels and the spirits of just men made perfect, the closeness of their communion, and the vividness of their vision, for the same may be ours. We too can turn all our desires into petitions, and of every wish make a prayer. We too can refer all our needs to his infinite supply. We too may consciously connect all our doings with his will and his glory. For us it is possible that there shall be between him and us a communication unbroken and continuous, which can carry two messages going opposite ways simultaneously, bearing to him the swift supplications of our spirits, and bringing to us the abundant answer of his grace.
You have been listening to God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson. Reach him by email at GodsFiveMinutes@gmail.com. Tune in next time to hear more encouraging thoughts from God's Word on God's 5 Minutes with Pastor Ed Wilson.
Never miss your favorite show again. For more than 30 years, KNEO has been bringing you great Bible teachers on a local and national level. And now, we've made it easier than ever to hear from these great men and women of God. KNEO's entire lineup is now available to listen anytime, anywhere, through our website. Go to kneo.org/podcast to see all the options. You can search for programs alphabetically, or you can select individual categories like culture, kids, leadership, or music. We even have a category just for locally produced programs, so you can hear from pastors and spiritual leaders located right here in the 4-state area. And all these resources are absolutely free. KNEO's mission is to get God's Word in front of you, and this is one of the ways we do it. Give it a try today. Go to kneo.org and click on the podcast tab to get started.